Very warm welcome to you all. James here once again, and after quite a few months, so here I am again. Firstly, if you've subscribed and continued to watch my videos, thank you very much indeed, and I'm very grateful for all those that have done so. And I have to confess to not having had a chance to have a look at what's been going on too much due to a number of reasons which I'll get to in a minute, but in any case, thank you all the same. It's lovely to see that people are still finding some interest in me droning on and doing this and that. So I suppose really I haven't been on since May or thereabouts. I can't remember when my last video was, but since then it's been a bit of a roller coaster of a few months. And the main reason for that is, very unfortunately, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, and fortunately it was found very quickly and really dealt with very quickly, and really, to cut a long and continuing story a little bit shorter, we are now at a stage where 2 operations later, and currently chemotherapy is underway, but also remission is in place, and really the treatment that's happening now is all to do with belt and braces, making sure that there's every possible chance that it is gone entirely. So as you can imagine, it's been rather stressful, and but I have to say everything has gone very well. The NHS here in the UK, I have to say, has been wonderful, and has delivered a swift and very efficient solution to everything that's needed to be done. So I'm very grateful for that, and we've had a lot of support, and so we're sort of going through and just facing things as they come along. So, any case, that's a very sort of brief description of why I've been away for a while. I've been obviously my usual busy self, trying to balance the situation with obviously everything else, work and all that sort of thing. So I have had a chance to watch 1 or 2 videos here and there when I've had a chance, as a way of just relaxing, and I have also obviously still been enjoying my pipe, and I have to say I have given it a lot of thought, and I've never really questioned whether I should consider whether I should smoke a pipe because of my wife's situation, but actually, rather selfishly or not, I've continued to smoke the pipe, and I've really kind of not felt inclined to look into it too much, because I find it has been a great source of comfort, and I suppose really more than anything helping with giving the opportunity to mull things over and to consider things, and to relax. And I smoke exclusively in the evenings, I suppose, or have been doing so, and I found it to be I think much more of a benefit than the obvious risks. But So yes, so there we are. It's the long fought and much discussed topic of should you or shouldn't you, but I haven't really felt, even in the situation I've been in and experienced, I can't really see myself, considering not smoking my pipe. I do think moderation plays a part. I wouldn't consider myself a heavy smoker. But anyway, that's not the purpose of what I'm here to talk about. Really just an impression of sort of the thoughts and feelings that arise in this circumstance. So obviously it's fairly common. All different sorts of cancers that people are afflicted with, and all distressing, and all a cause for concern. But when all's said and done, I think it's still, I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but I don't feel the need to be overly concerned about my pipe smoking. But anyway, so as I said, I have had a chance to watch a few of your wonderful videos, and there's been quite a number of topics which I really would have liked to have touched base on, but I think probably the one in particular that I thought really chimed with my sort of process of pipe smoking is probably I think brought up by Ben the Artful Codger, I believe, and I'm sure you're probably aware of what the premise was, but it was really just saying that it's probably quite a good idea to get to know your pipe, or a pipe, quite well, and a blend as well, and just really get to know them, and actually, do you need to spend lots of money on a on a very what may be a very lovely pipe? Does that guarantee you your best smoke, and this sort of thing? I think you know what the general premise was, and just really putting your efforts into just really noticing and getting to know a blend in a particular pipe, and giving a pipe a chance to really take on a character, and learning how it works with you and what it can provide, and improvements along the way. So a very interesting topic, and really it does, let's say, it kind of almost epitomises what my approach is. I've never really been in a position to purchase very expensive high-end pipes, and I've always felt that it didn't really impede my enjoyment of pipe tobacco, and I think if anything, even now I think what I actually smoke, probably the same as a lot of people, I have a lot of pipes, and I think my best pipes are the ones I smoke the most, quite simply, and it is being narrowed down to a certain few. It depends what blends I have on the go at the time, but incidentally, this evening I'm smoking a rather nice, fairly old, unbranded pipe, which you can't see on here, but it has had a repair just along here. It has a electric plated band there, which is rather smart. Again, nothing too special. It illustrates the point. This pipe is, you know, probably been around, kicking around for a long time. Again, it was a part of a lot which I bought of about 8 pipes, I think, and I finally got round to doing a little bit of tidying up on it. And I've been exclusively smoking sort of Orientals in it, and tonight I've got some, if I've got it here somewhere, what have I done with it? Oh, some Puget Sound, which is the Seattle Pipe Club, I believe, and that has proven to be a wonderful situation, and I would say that I have indeed had many bowls of you know, one blend in this pipe, and it really has taken on a lovely sweetness, and I get the flavours that I hope for, you know, and I consider it's become a benchmark for what I achieve in a smoke, which is what I think I always look for. So I think sometimes people miss that in some respects, as they constantly strive for a better pipe, and I think possibly sometimes might overlook what they've got and how much they've smoked it, and how much they really know a blend. So a really wonderful topic to discuss, and I think it has sort of produced quite a bit of discussion, and people have probably had quite a sort of almost a reconsider of their pipe smoking situation and how they go about things, and I think really, I mean, more than anything, I hope people manage to you know, perhaps achieve that sort of ultimate smoke that we're all kind of looking for, and I have to say it's just so lovely when everything works, and it's not, doesn't, you're very lucky if you can get that in every smoke, and sometimes you just want something that you don't have to think about too much, but I think as I say, you stand more of a chance to achieve that if you use the pipe a bit more, and it becomes better acquainted with a blend, and takes a bit more time, but I think ultimately gives you you know, really nice results. So I've been really enjoying my Orientals lately, not just because I really meant to, but because that's what I've got, and I've not really been buying an awful lot recently. I've had the usual my constant companion of St Bruno and Condor, because it's easy to get hold of and I can get it locally, and that all that sort of thing. So they are more or less a constant, and I very much enjoy both, and they are probably my sort of everyday blends that generally I like to have all the time. So I shall be stocking up again at some point with a few other things. I'm rather missing, I'm out of Bob's chocolate flake, which I rather enjoy. I finished off my sort of summer smoke, which is full Virginia flake, by Sammy Gowith, and probably will get some more of that because it is just lovely. And again, there's all the usual things I'd love to try, but again, another topic that was raised with this whole thing about striving to always try all the thousands of different blends and makes of blends that you can get, and I have to say it is intriguing when somebody hits on a blend that they really get to know well and they recommend it, and it's very inspiring, and you of course you want to go and try and sample the stuff yourself, and sometimes if it means you have to do a bit of work to achieve that, that's kind of part of the fun of it. But sometimes, I mean, I've done this you know, early on in my smoking career, I suppose you could call it, you know, there were things that you know, there were blends that seemed to be very prominent, and I can't. There's been several that I've gone and got at expense or had to search around for, and actually once I've got them and, you know, enjoyed them as best I could, actually I found I wasn't really enjoying them for the proper reasons. It was because it had been suggested that they were good, and I assumed that they should suit me and be good for me too, but that isn't always the case, as I found, and this is again, this is a topic that was raised and discussed, that you know, perhaps we should just stick with, you know, a blend for a bit longer, and actually for a long time I go through periods where I just smoke one blend and it just suits my situation, and I'm none the worse for it, and I think, as I've said, it really does you know, help you to get to know your blends, and I've said before on a number of occasions about dedicating pipes to blends, and I think that is still a very good way to go if you can. I think it really does help. As I say, I have a couple of condor pipes that for some reason, I mean, there's no physical reason, and there's nothing to do with the shape or the make or the type. I've got two pipes that, you know, just because I've always smoked condor in them, they just have that flavour in, and as we all know, that I think you know, this flavour sort of builds, and you get this situation where you could almost guarantee the thing is going to be as you expect, and I think that's what I strive for, and I have this in a few pipes now, and they are the pipes that I think I'm going to concentrate more on, look after a bit more, and further to that, I think probably, as a lot of people do, I should probably look at moving on some of my pipe collection. I should probably whack some on eBay, and they will only be very cheap, because really none of my pipes are, you know, hugely expensive pipes, and it will literally just be moving on pipes to enable others to pick up a bargain and perhaps start somebody off in their pipe smoking endeavours. And so that's not to say that any of the pipes I shall be moving on are particularly bad in any way. Do you know, I could honestly say I don't think I have more than about 3 pipes that I never smoke because of various reasons. I mean, I think you're very unlucky to get a pipe that's so awful that you can't smoke it at all. I think you know, that is very unfortunate if you get that. it can happen, but that's one thing I do fear is having a again, another topic that has cropped up over a couple of other videos is this whole thing about, you know, you find a pipe that you've been coveting for a long time, and it's everything you want it to be, but then it comes to the smoking, and the thing doesn't provide what you're hoping for, and you know, the disappointment of that is quite something. But of course, this all depends on what you're smoking, how long, you know, you're giving this pipe a chance to get you know, to the stage where it might perform a bit better. So I suppose all you can do is hope that if you persist, that things will improve. So I hope. I mean, I always bear that in mind. Something that I compare it to, being a cyclist as I am, is when you buy a good quality leather saddle. For me personally, the thing is nowhere near broken in until I've covered at least 400 to 500 miles. That's to say that, you know, it might be reasonably comfortable, but to get that real sort of you know, it forms to the shape of how you sit on the bike, and it therefore offers you a bespoke thing that just fits, and it just seems to work. And you know, you go through a lot of miles where perhaps it's a little bit uncomfortable, perhaps a little bit hard, but eventually with a bit of the correct treatment and looking after the thing, it becomes very supple and just is really the best. Well, in my opinion, it's the best way to do things in terms of a bicycle saddle. But you know, it's a similar thing. You know, it takes time, and that I think is true in part for all of pipe smoking. Is you know, the sort of the time and effort that's put into it. I think does give some reward eventually. So there we are. I'm probably rambling now, and I think that's brought you pretty much up to date with me. You know, there's not a lot else going on other than what I've mentioned, and I shall endeavour to give somewhat of an update as and when I can. I shall continue to enjoy my pipes, and I hope you do too. Now, once again, as I say, to all of you who've subscribed, and I have noticed a few comments that I haven't replied to, so I apologise for that, and I will try and look back through and see if I can catch up somewhat with that. I know a couple of people were quite rightly expecting to see me at the pipe show back in June, and very unfortunately that kind of it just appeared, and I was all geared up to go along, and I just felt that at that stage it just you know, I just wasn't going to be with it and able to enjoy myself. So very unfortunately I didn't make it. So I didn't go and hide. I just wasn't there, and you look like you all had a wonderful time as expected. So I shall keenly await next year to bring better fortune, and hopefully I shall be in a better situation to attend. So I'm not sure what time I'm at now, but anyway, that's probably enough for me. So as I say, I hope you're all doing well. All the very best to you all, and hope to get back on here at some stage. And so I shall say cheerio, keep the cameras rolling, keep the pipes puffing.